2-2 to Correa. Bust it! Left field! Para Lacalle! 4-3! Carlos Correa! It's his time!
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Diamond Podcast here on the Apollo Podcast Network. Brian LaLima, ApolloDez here with you. Follow us on Twitter at BLima790, at ApolloDez1, and of course at ApolloHOU. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dez and I will be recapping ALCS Games 1 and 2. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Astros win Game 1 and then fall to the Red Sox in Game 2. And Dez, just some general comments early about Games 1 and 2. Obviously, two completely different games. I think it's not even an elephant in the room, but the biggest issue are the two starting pitchers for the Astros in Game 1 and 2. Framber only went 2 2/3. Luis Garcia only went 1. Astros steal Game 1 and then get shellacked in Game 2. Put up a little bit of a fight towards the end, but just some general comments to start.
Yeah, it's going to be a war. I think we said it before the series started that this series, these teams are kind of mirror images of each other. They have guys that can get big hits, guys that have been there before. In October, a manager that has won a championship here and over there. So it's going to be a flat out war. I think splitting 1-1 especially feels like stealing Game 1 the way that game kind of played out, and then the ass whipping that was delivered yesterday. But all in all, 1-1, you just got to get one in Boston. If you can't do that, then it's just not your year. So I am worried about the pitching. I think everyone should be worried about the pitching, and you need an absolute gem from Jose Urquidy on Monday night.
Yeah, and another thing is do not throw Kiké Hernandez anything middle in.
Just stop throwing
again.
to him.
Yeah, in general. And you and I made that comparison at Game 1. We were both in Minute Maid Park for the start of the ALCS, and we compared him to what Jackie Bradley Jr. did to the Astros in 2018. Jackie Bradley Jr. was the MVP of the ALCS in 2018, in which the Astros fell to the Red Sox. Red Sox go on to win the World Series, thanks in large part to Jackie Bradley Jr. And Kiké Hernandez is literally the hottest hitter on the planet. The dude's hitting like over 500 in the ALCS and in the postseason. I mean, the dude hit, 2 bombs in Game 1 and then another bomb in Game 3?
Yeah.
In Game 2 for 3? I mean, dude is literally seeing beach balls. And y'all did an Ask Apollo on the way down for the watch party for Game 2. And one of my questions to you guys, to you and Spaceman, were, how do you throw Kiké Hernandez? I said hard sliders away, hard fastballs away. And when we have seen that, Phil Maton did a really good job of throwing to Kiké Hernandez. Got him to strike out on a fastball up and away, threw him away. He swung and missed, finally fouled off a few pitches, finally swung and missed for strike 3. But then for some reason, he got a few more pitches to hit in Game 2, and I think he was like 3 for 4. I don't have the correct, I can obviously look, but yeah, the dude's just seeing beach balls right now.
It's wild that he highlighted this kind of scenario before the series started. When we previewed the ALCS, we said don't let the guy that's hot beat you in the series.
Yeah,
and I don't think you've let him beat you because you stole Game 1. Yeah. But if you keep pitching to him, especially in Boston, with that crowd's going to be as live as live can be,
bonkers.
Then you. If they keep pitching to him, then that's on you, Astros. That's on you, Strami and Dusty and everyone else and on the staff. I think just the way to attack him, like you said, stuff away, hard stuff away, and just hope he gets himself out, hope he extends the zone, and then kind of throws him off. I think like a 0 for 3 game would maybe a little reset button for him because he's just so hot at the plate right now. But until then, you have to approach him with caution, and that's just how the game goes when a guy's this locked in the way he's locked in.
Yeah, he was 4 for 5 in Game 1, and he hit leadoff for the Red Sox in Game 1, and then Alex Cora switched him and Schwarber. So Schwarber was a leadoff guy in Game 2. Schwarber, I think, hit a double to start that game, in which he did, and then Hernandez had a little bloop single. But let's go back to let's recap this by game. So Game 1, Minute Maid Park was rocking. Still, man, I don't know about where. So we were in different sections. Dez, you and Colin, Spaceman, were together. I was over in 101, which is the Crawford boxes. You guys were up the left field line. I don't know about y'all's section, but ours wasn't that live, man. It was kind of boring, to be honest with you. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand why people aren't on their feet every single inning, every pitch, every big moment. I don't know. I just wanted to kind of hit on that because there's a lot of talk across the timeline on Twitter. I've seen some writers talk about opening the roof. Doesn't really matter because Minute Maid Park really isn't that loud, which people might hate on Brian McTaggart for making that comparison. But I'll tell you what, it takes a big moment to get the crowd on its feet instead of on a, early 0-2 count where Lance McCullers or even Framber Valdez has got a guy down 0-2 and only half the stadium is standing. But I don't know, man. I don't know how it was from your perspective, but the crowd, for the most part, I thought was...
It was a circus raucous where we were.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
And then I made my way up and saw some friends and some family up in the Honda Club for a bit. It was rowdy up there because it wasn't that rowdy in ALDS. And then when I made it back to my seats, and I think we were 107, it was a pretty good palpable energy throughout the entire time. The middle innings sucked, especially right after the Altuve error, the ball that kind of ate him up. Yep. The atmosphere died a little bit then, but man, I have no complaints on my end of how we were and all that, because it was pretty palpable, the energy there.
Yeah, so the section, like 103 and 100 were popping. And then, 102 and 100 and 102 and even 103 were absolutely insane. And the row behind me and the row behind them, so rows 3 and 4, plus our row, were pretty much up the entire time, still getting bitched at for standing up. The guys are trying to get other people up. I just don't understand it, man. If you're going to spend all that money to sit that close and be in those good seats, you might as well make the most of it. I do know that the middle innings were kind of boring, if you will. And again, like you highlighted, Jose Altuve had the error, cost him 3 runs. They stayed in the game. And I said it, and you and I both said this, actually. Survive the surge, catch the momentum when you can, and at the end of the day, good teams find a way to win, and that's exactly what happened in Game 1. To limit the Red Sox, I said in our group chat, for our Apollo group chat, to only give up 3 runs and to hold them to 3 runs in that big inning was huge. At that point, it was only a 3-1 ball game going into the top of the 4th, and it was scoreless up until, the bottom of the 6th, where we saw Jose Altuve come up in a big moment with 2 outs, hit a 2-run jack to tie it. Then he had a sac fly later in the 8th, but then big time Mr. October himself, Carlos Correa, comes in, hits a mammoth home run to put the Astros ahead, says, "What time is it? It's my time." All-time pimp job, in my opinion. I mean, just an absolute, what a pimp job. Just phenomenal.
It's up there with one of the greatest moments ever in this golden age, and especially Carlos Correa's October highlight reel. I mean, standing at the plate, knew it instantly. The point, it's my time, the chest, the yell, all of it. Yeah. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And I think the best thing about it was, I think we all expected it. And that's so crazy to say because baseball is such a hard sport, but you just knew that Altuve was going to make up for that error. You knew Carlos Correa in that moment was going to get the big hit. And it was a hell of a at-bat, too. He saw some tough pitches there and battled, and then he got that fastball and didn't miss. But it's wild to say that I think everyone watching, everyone in the stadium knew at that moment Carlos Correa was once again going to put another highlight in his highlight reel in October.
Yeah, and I know that, you guys like to give me a lot of shit because I always talk about quality at-bats, but you go back to the bottom of the 1st. Yordan Alvarez, quality at-bat, sac fly, scores a man. Obviously, the big home run from Altuve in the bottom of the 6th. Correa with the mammoth home run in the bottom of the 7th. And then Jose Altuve does it once again. Another quality at-bat, sac fly, gives him that insurance run, which was huge because Kiké Hernandez comes up in the top of the 9th and hits a solo blast. So those at-bats are going to be huge throughout the rest of this series and then even bigger when you get into the World Series, regardless of who is there, who can have the best quality at-bats at times. And we saw it. And who other than Jose Altuve to have two of them, especially after making the error? I'm sure everybody saw the error. Oh, no. Oh, God, here come the yips again. Blah, 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 all the bullshit. No, he kept his head down, kept going to work. His moment came. He delivered. The Astros win it. Biggest thing for me out of game one was how the bullpen performed. I mean, if you look at these stat lines, obviously Framber only 2 2/3. Here's what I'll say about the Astros pitching so far. It's inexcusable, in my opinion. You can't have your starters not even go through the order twice. That's not good. And that's not just them getting absolutely raked at the plate. They're just not throwing strikes. They're getting into deep counts. I can't tell you how many times did, Framber Valdez have 3-2 counts. I mean, my goodness, those strikes. He had 64 pitches, only 35 of them were strikes. That is inexcusable to me. Same thing with Luis Garcia. I know he might have had something going on with his knee, but still, throw strikes. That's inexcusable.
I think the crazy thing is that once you get into the preview, we said that the team that is going to capitalize on walks is going to win this series. And through 2 games at 1-1, I think the Astros haven't capitalized like the Red Sox have. I think the Red Sox should feel like they should be up 2-0 going back to Boston and, be able to close it out there. But with it being 1-1 the way it was, it almost feels like, okay, we won a game, the bad Framber game, right? Like it's a 50-50 coin flip of what Framber's showing up. So if you won his bad start, hopefully the second time around it's a good start and you win that. And that's why I say we kind of stole that game, is because you had bad Framber, but the bullpen pitched their dick off. And they pitched their dick off again on Saturday as well. And it's for something that was such a question mark throughout the year, and all the usual suspects and everyone bitching on the timeline about, Rayleigh or Maton or whoever it was. The guys that have come in and pitched this postseason out of the pen have been phenomenal. Odorizzi coming in yesterday after Luis's injury. It took about 45 minutes to get him going, but look, that's the rule. Like, if someone gets hurt, you bring your guy in, a starter, he has to get his routine, and I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he didn't rush. Yeah, he did give up that grand slam, but he pitched in 8 up innings when someone had to do it, and that's going to pay dividends later on down the road. But it's not sustainable in the CS and hopefully in the World Series if your starters aren't even going second time through, like you said. Yeah, it's not. We'll be on the couch watching. We'll be on the couch next week watching if they keep this up.
It's inexcusable. I'm sorry. That might seem harsh. It's inexcusable. You can't have that. Now, the good thing about what the bullpen has done outside of Framber's outing and outside of Luis Garcia's outing, the arms that have come in, game 1, they gave up 1 walk. Game 2, they gave up 1 walk. The bullpen guys have only given up 2 walks in 2 games. That is absolutely phenomenal.
That's nails.
And for Jake Odorizzi to come in the way that he did, he was supposed to start game 4. And it was a shock to him and probably to everybody else that they were going to go to Jake Odorizzi in that moment. And he did what he could. Yes, he gave up the grand slam, but for him to eat up 4 innings, that's big time, because the Astros only used 5 arms yesterday. Same thing that the Red Sox did. They also used 5 arms, and they won 9-5. The way that game was going, you would have thought Nathan Eovaldi was going to stretch into the 7th. Then they'd get their setup guy. Then they'd get their closer. Boom. Get out of that with a big-time win. Only use 3 pitchers. Your bullpen is set up beautifully to go into Fenway Park on Monday night. And no, it's not. That's the beauty of this whole thing. Yeah, the Astros got their shit kicked in yesterday. Saturday. That's fine. Turn the page. Move forward. Yimi Garcia has looked good. Maton has looked good. Brooks Raley got his job done. Ryan Stanek has pitched. Graveman's pitched. Presley's pitched. Christian Javier came in and tossed well. So it's all going to come down to the starting pitching, and it starts with Jose Urquidy on Monday.
Correct. And game 4 is likely going to be a bullpen game because they're talking about Zach not being stretched out. And if he is their guy, or Jake, who just threw on Saturday, it starts on Tuesday, then obviously it's going to be 2 or 3 innings tops. So going into the start on Monday, Jose needs to probably pitch the game of his life, to be honest, because this bullpen is going to have a lot of innings to log on Tuesday. So you need your guy on Monday to really go out there and eat some innings and really go out there and extend the game. and give these guys a chance in the sense of a starter going a distance that is respectable.
Right.
Because it hasn't been. It absolutely hasn't been.
If there is ever a time for Jose Urquidy to toss the pill as well as he can and extend into the 6th, 7th inning, it is Monday night in Game 3. It is a must-have for the Astros for him to come in and throw and keep the pitch count down and throw 6 to 7 innings. 5, 6, 7 innings. Give me 6 and I'm okay. Give me 6.
6 I'm happy.
Solid innings. 6 solid innings. And I will feel a lot better, because if you don't, and it is a bullpen game on Game 4, the Astros very well could find themselves down 3-1.
Yeah, it's the biggest.
It's a scary thing.
It's scary.
It's
it really
a scary
is.
thing.
The reality is this, guys and girls.
That's the harsh reality. Harsh reality.
That the positives are you have an opportunity for hopefully Framber and Luis. I don't know with his knee. I know he said he felt good today in his pen. That their second time through is not this first time through. This is just an outlier. But there's a reality you don't even get back to them. In the sense that you could be chasing 3-1, going into elimination game on Wednesday. So they need a win tomorrow. Tomorrow, Monday, is a must-win game. Yeah. I think it's a swing game in the series. I think it gives either team a lot of confidence going into the next 2 games, because you're going to play them back-to-back-to-back. I think tomorrow's the biggest game in the series.
Yeah. And another thing that I think about as we're discussing this right now, I'm not worried about the Red Sox. They don't scare me. What scares me is the Astros starting rotation. So it's not the Astros battling the Red Sox. It's the Astros battling themselves. And that starts with the starting pitcher. Can you give the Astros a quality at start, Jose Urquidy? Yeah. And then from there on, that's what it comes down to, because you look at Boston, their starters, they're good, they're not great. Nathan Eovaldi really wasn't that great yesterday. He got the job done.
He had some filthy stuff.
But he didn't. It wasn't like he was out there blowing dudes away. He wasn't,
and then again, he had a lot of. He could just go out there and just throw strikes and fill up his zone.
Nice and relaxed, and they're up.
Lead.
8-run, then eventually 9-run lead. But again,
it was zero stress for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's got 100 in him. We know that. I think the next time we face him, he'll be more amped up. Obviously, it's probably be a bigger game, than that. But when the rotation came out for the Red Sox and it was Sale and then Nate, I was very curious of that, and that's why I keep saying the Astros stole Game 1, because I felt like the Red Sox punted Game 1. They're like, hey, Sale hasn't been stretched out. We're going to start him Game 1. We're not going to start our ace, Nate. We're going to put him on Saturday and try to get back home 1-1. And obviously that worked out. But the sense is, in October, these guys have been here, and both sides have been in this same exact situation. But the biggest thing is they're capable of turning the page over. And we talked about it last series. The Astros are built. They've had so many innings and so many at-bats. They're probably the most capable team of turning that page over. And that's what they did to secure the ALDS. And now they're going to have to do it again. And I think the at-bats late in the game really shows how locked in these guys are. Obviously, 2 grand slams and back-to-back innings is just wild to even say that out loud. But to have them keep fighting and to have really good competitive at-bats throughout that end of the game, when the game was pretty much out of reach from the second inning on, I think speaks dividends of this team. And I think we heard it today in Bregman's presser. As an offense, we put up 5 runs, but we got to be better, everything else. But I think that and the crowd itself at the end of Game 2 actually was pretty live for getting your asses beat. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good, clean energy. Obviously, the score dictated the result, but I was really, really, really happy about those at bats I saw.
Yeah, the at bats, especially from Jason Castro coming off the bench. Talk about some grown man strength.
Mickey Mantle in the 7th.
Dude, that's a tank, man. Dead center. That's what he hit at 432 feet. That's an absolute nuke. And he comes off the bench, cold, off the bench, pinch hit, gets his feet wet with some playoff experience. In this series, another guy that got some playoff experience that actually pitched pretty well was Blake Taylor. That's going to be huge down the stretch. So again, everything else flows with the way you're starting pitching. Now, I think another positive that some people might not have thought of, the Astros are now the visiting team, so they will get to hit first. Come out with attacking early, hunting fastballs, and get on. Who's starting for them? Is it Rodriguez, right? For the Red Sox?
I assume Erod is starting.
I think they announced that. Yep,
Yeah,
it is.
it's Erod.
Yep, Eduardo Rodriguez. So
Lefty,
get on him early.
Has some a lot of strikeout stuff. Has
Yep,
a
he's got
walk
good
problem.
stuff.
Has a walk problem. So we gotta extend these at bats. But he's pretty filthy from the left side.
But grab the momentum early. Shut down the Fenway Park crowd. I know they're going to be going absolutely nuts up there. Excuse me. So get on them early and then calm it down a little bit for Jose Urquidy. So the offense gets a chance first. If they put up 2 or 3 runs, I think that's going to, obviously that changes the momentum. That gives the momentum early to the Astros. And then you get Jose Urquidy pitching with a lead rather than it's scoreless and everyone's kind of on edge. Who's going to get the first run? Everything's under a microscope going into these playoffs. So yeah, I think attack early and often in the beginning, in the first couple innings for the offense. Give Jose Urquidy some runs, let him settle in, and hopefully you can see a 5, 6, maybe even a 7 inning start for Jose Urquidy. Keep the pitch count down, throw strikes, and make really good pitches and get these guys out, and just don't throw to Kiké Hernandez.
Yeah, it's let someone else beat you. Just let someone else beat you.
Yeah,
seriously.
seriously.
For the love of God. Shifting into this 3-game stretch in Fenway, I ideally the result is a clean sweep, right there to lock it in.
Yeah,
I think it's coming back to Houston. I don't know which way it's gonna be. If it's 3-2, whatever way, but I think tomorrow with everything kind of being unknown, with the back end of the with the back end of the rotation and those guys, Jose Urquidy has a chance to legitimately make his name in this franchise of pitching in October. We've seen it time and time again. It almost feels like he's logged more innings in October than he has in the regular season, because that's just how he emerged as a guy, in 19. And so I think that people are sleeping on him a bit, our fan base, and he has an opportunity to really wake everyone up and show that, hey, I'm a big time pitcher too. I know there's a lot of dudes on the staff, but hey, I'm a dude. I've been in big moments before, and I have another big opportunity right here in front of me to capitalize on that.
Yeah, and people don't need to sleep on him, because there's really no one else that you're turning to right now. Can't throw Zach Greinke because he's not stretched out enough. So what else do you have? It's go time for Jose Urquidy, and it's going to be interesting going into that game. I think early on is really going to set the tone for the rest of that game, but then for the rest of the series. I think you hit it on the head. It's a swing game tomorrow, a very, very crucial time for the Houston Astros, just because of the way the rotation is set up, especially without Lance McCullers. We don't know about Luis Garcia. So after that, it's a scary thing. But tomorrow is tomorrow, meaning Monday. It's huge. It's going to be a big time day for the Houston Astros. And I think obviously they're up for it. They've got so much experience on the offensive side. Pitching staff, not so much. And that's a scary thing. But they're definitely still up for the task.
If there's any group of pitchers going into Fenway, that just, I don't think it cares for the moment or how loud it's going to be. It's JU. It's Zach Greinke.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit of Odorizzi, because he just has a natural chip on his shoulder. But Austin Christian Javier, I think all those guys are, when we come back, hopefully to Houston, whatever it is, that I think those are the guys that logged you a fuck ton of innings during this 3-game set. And so both these teams just mirror each other so damn much. That's why I think it goes 7. I think somehow, some way, the series just will find its way to come back to Houston for a game 7. They're both really good teams. The energy from that Red Sox clubhouse, obviously, I was very fortunate. Good friend Corey invited me to the Diamond Club seats with him yesterday. So being that close, and obviously when 2 grand slams are in the first 2 innings, the dugout's chirping and stuff. But watching the Astros all year and then being able to be that close to the Red Sox and seeing that, I mean, these two teams just are just mirror images of each other. The energy that's coming out of that bullpen, out of that dugout, and just how much love they have for their teammates, and they're always talking, they're always chirping, they're always in the sense of they're so locked in baseball wise, like the Houston Astros are. It's special to watch these two teams go to war because it's really, really good baseball. Obviously, it sucks as a fan. And oh my gosh, another episode that we're recording and another Jock Peterson home run live.
Really?
Just tied it up
did
2-2. Did it again.
Oh my!
Just hit a
to tie it
off
to
Scherzer to tie it 2-2.
Good.
Wow.
Good. Wow,
I love October baseball. You see, like I'm not stressed right now because I'm just sitting here watching it.
Right.
But like in it, I can't wait to go back and watch this hopefully 7-game series with the Red Sox. Because it's really, really, really good baseball.
This series deserves 7 games.
For sure.
It does. It's, to me, at one point in game 1 where bloopers were falling, there was a big moment early in the game where bases were loaded. Michael Brantley hit a little blooper. Kiké Hernandez comes out of nowhere, dives, makes the catch, keeps runs off the board. Rafael Devers or Xander Bogaerts, one of them hit a little blooper that fell in for a single early in the game. And I'm thinking, oh my God. Then
Here
there
we
was...
go.
Then there was another one. I think it was Kiké Hernandez, little bloop double, fell in front of Jordan, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. This is the bullshit that we had to go through in 2018, and I'm like, holy shit, this is literally going to happen again. But just like we said on the first preview for the ALCS, good teams find a way to win. The Astros steal game 1, so I still do believe this game will also. I also believe that this game will go 7. We saw how completely different each game is going to be, especially with the way that game 2 went with the just unbelievable 2 grand slams, couple pitches away, and the Astros really probably win game 2.
Yeah, and the team's been here before. The team has gotten their ass beat in a 7-game series in a one-off game. It's not nothing new. It's not like, oh my God, what the fuck's going on? It's, hey, turn the page, go to work. And I think this team has they had this quiet confidence of this war around them that how they carry themselves in October, that I don't think they're worried or stressed. The moment's not too big. They were down 3-0 last year and forced a game 7. Like, they've seen the best, they've won it all, and then they've had their heart ripped out in 19, and they forced a game 7. They've done all these different things over the last 5-6 years of this golden age, and that's what I think is going to be the key factor in the series, is just the experience and how well they gel. They can look at each other and, yes, George Springer's not there. Yes, Justin Verlander's not there. Yes, Garrett Cole's not there. But the bulk of these guys have logged a ton of innings in October. And so have the Red Sox. Don't get me wrong. But it was Schwarber somewhere else. It was Kiké somewhere else. It was, Bogey, Devers, and JD there, yes. But now they're also trying to gel as well, where this Astros team can look around like, hey, remember in 18 when this happened? Or, hey, remember in 20 when this happened? You could turn and do that. You don't have to like, hey, did this happen to you when you were in LA? Or, hey, did this happen to you in Washington? No, it's a conversation that you have with your teammate where you're just like, shit, this happened before, boys. We were here in 18 when this happened, or in 19, whatever year you want to use. So I think that's a big factor as well. Yeah,
and to talk about the experience, you saw it today in Alex Bregman's I can't even talk, media availability. I think someone tweeted about it saying, "Oh, I miss cocky Bregman." Well, I don't think it's cocky Bregman. I think it's Bregman's this is just another day.
Oh yeah.
You don't try to do too much with this whole scenario. It's just we've been here. We've been here.
The moment will eat you alive if you try to do that.
This game will humble you so damn quick if you get like that. So I think it's calm, cool, collected. Hey, we're gonna go play baseball. In game 3, we've been here before. We went on the road in Washington. Jose Urquidy got a start and he pitched damn well. 2018, we saw this happen to us. We had to go on the road and face a tough environment. 2020, battle tested as well. So all the experiences got to pay off at some point. Got to pay off. And I think it will. I still think the Astros are going to take this series. I still think it's going to go to 7 games. It's going to be a war, like we keep saying. And I was going to ask you if you had one key to a victory in game 3, what would it be? And I think for me, I'll just go ahead and start. I think the one key is the offense has got to score in the first 3 innings. Take the lead early, and not just one run. I'm saying put up a couple. Get the momentum fully swung on your side. Give Jose Urquidy a lead. Let him settle in to extend his outing. That's my biggest key.
I think my biggest key is going to be this. There's going to be a moment in the game where Jose hits the wall or has a situation, maybe first and second, 1 out, something like that. And it's going to be a fringe call of, do you pull him right now in the 4th or the 5th to go to your pin, or do you let him in to go through it and see if he can get through it? I think that's going to be the key. If you can trust in Jose Urquidy tomorrow to get you later on in the series and help your team out. Obviously, you want to win the game and you want to win the swing game, but how does that help you if you pull him in the 4th and you end up losing that game? Then it's just a double loser, right? Because then you burn the pin. So I think there's just gonna be a moment in the game where you just have to trust your guy, and it's a feel thing, and that's a great thing that Dusty does do well. He can see it and just be like, I know it. We saw it last year with Greinke when he got that big strikeout and kept him in. I think it's gonna be that moment. I don't know. Obviously, I can't predict the future, but I think it's gonna be that middle innings when your starter's starting to get those stressful at bats,
right?
And how you handle that.
Yeah, and that's the best thing about Dusty Baker. When you talk about his old school mentality, he knows the game, he feels the game. He doesn't always look at a stat sheet. He doesn't look at analytics all the time. He has the balance of new school, old school, and at the end of the day, go with your gut. Feel the momentum, feel out the game, make those big decisions. And Zach Greinke talked about it. He was like, man, it feels good to actually have a manager that trusts you. So Dusty Baker has that in his DNA, and he's been there before. He's been in some playoffs throughout his career. So, man, I think another thing is don't try to do too much with this whole situation. That's from obviously the players, but we as fans need to relax a little bit.
For sure.
It's a new day. The series is even.
It's a 3-game set.
Take it game by game, pitch by pitch.
3-game set. Sneak one, and then worry about getting the second one.
Yep, exactly. Yep, that is exactly. It's going to be a war. At the end of the day, it's going to be a war.
A fucking war.
And these two teams are mirror images of themselves, and this game is going to go 7. I still think the Astros are going to win, so look forward to it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Where's the watch party at?
Tomorrow, I believe, is going to be at Kobo's. I believe. We'll drop the address and everything else down below. Don't know what it's going to be Tuesday. Don't know what it's going to be Wednesday. But we'll figure it out.
Yep. So, we were there Saturday at Kobo's. And we're also there Friday and Saturday, actually. So, appreciate everyone coming out. As always, we love the support. That's going to do it for the Beyond the Diamond podcast as we recap game 1 and 2, looking towards games 3, 4, and 5. We will be back after games 3, 4, and 5 with another episode. Hopefully, the Astros will either have won the ALCS or they're in good position coming back home 3-2. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Dad, you got anything before we get out of here?
Just stressed.
Are you?
Just worried.
Yeah.
Stressed and worried. But other than that, love you guys.
Yep. That's going to do it. Thank you for watching. Again, follow us on social media at BLima790, at ApolloDez1, and of course at ApolloHOU. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram. Our guy Spaceman is building that thing out left and right at ApolloHOU on Instagram. Follow all the socials. We love you guys. Thank you for the support. Until next time, we will talk to you guys later. Peace.
Love you guys.